Listen, before we get into today's picks, here's a very important message. From now on, every single video is going to start with proof on the screen of today's games. Wins, losses, everything. No hiding. No trust me, bro. Full transparency. We've had the Discord for this and we still do, but one of you asked for the proof to be baked into every video, so that's exactly what we're doing. Masked FC means we show receipts. Alright, let's get into the card for today. Same mission as always. Clean, professional football tips and predictions, built for consistency, not fairy tales. We're not chasing miracles, we're stacking smart spots. First up, Newcastle versus Brentford, over 1.5 goals. This is one of those matchups that usually doesn't waste time. Newcastle at home tend to play with tempo, they push games into chances, and Brentford aren't a team that just parks the bus and prays. They're organized, but they'll still play. And that's exactly what we want for an over 1.5. You don't need a 5-goal thriller. You need 2 goals in a match that naturally leans into action. Newcastle's recent seasons have been defined by high-event matches, especially when they're allowed to attack in waves. Next, Arsenal vs Sunderland, over 1.5 goals. Arsenal are built to control games and create volume. When they're on the front foot, the pressure eventually turns into goals, and that's why overlines like this can be so clean when the matchup gives them territory. Sunderland historically play brave in moments, and that can create exactly what we need. Transitions, corners, pressure, and eventually 2 goals somewhere in the 90. This isn't about overthinking it. It's about backing a game script where Arsenal's control produces goals. Now we go to Germany, St. Pauli versus VfB Stuttgart, over 1.5 goals. Stuttgart have been one of those teams that when they get rhythm, they don't just score once. They look for the second. They're direct when they need to be, but they also know how to play through pressure, and that pushes games into goal moments. St. Pauli, especially in big matchups, tend to bring energy and intensity, and that's great for us because intensity creates mistakes, and mistakes create goals. 2 goals is the target, and the vibe of this fixture supports it. Next, Birmingham versus Leicester, over 1.5 goals. This is the kind of fixture where the pace can swing quickly. Leicester, when they're moving the ball well, can turn a match into a chance factory. Birmingham at home can be awkward to play against, but awkward doesn't mean lifeless. It often means scrappy, and scrappy games still produce goals because set pieces, rebounds, and moments of chaos count the same. We're not asking for perfection, we're asking for 2 goals. And this matchup has enough edge and enough urgency to get there. Now Belgium, SV Zulte Waregem versus FCV Dender over 1.5 goals. This is one of those spots where the league itself often gives you the right environment. Belgian games can open up fast once the first goal drops, because teams don't always shut it down perfectly after scoring. And when you've got 2 sides that are comfortable playing forward in phases, you're basically looking for one clean finish to unlock it. Then the second goal often follows. For an over 1.5, that's the dream script. Next, Turkey, Fatih Karagumruk versus Antalyaspor, over 1.5 goals. Turkey can be chaotic in the best way for overs. You get momentum swings, emotional spells, and defensive structure that can disappear for 10 minutes at a time. Karagumruk matches can turn into these stretched phases where 1 chance becomes 3 chances, and Antalyaspor have their moments too, especially when the game opens up. We're not betting on a perfect match. We're betting on football being football for 90 minutes, and Turkey often delivers exactly that. Now England League One, Peterborough versus Wigan, over 1.5 goals. Peterborough have a reputation for being involved in matches with chances, and League One in general can be a goldmine for simple overs because it's fast, direct, and less cagey than the top leagues. Wigan can be solid, but solid doesn't mean 0 goals. 2 goals is a low bar in a league where 1 set piece and 1 transition can cash the ticket. This is a pace play, and it fits the profile. An England National League, Morecambe versus Truro City, over 1.5 goals. This is the kind of pick where the vibe matters. Non-league football can be relentless for over lines because the game state flips quickly, the margins are thinner, and once a team concedes, they often have to respond immediately. Truro have been a story club in English football because of how far they've climbed and the attention around them. And these kinds of fixtures can get spicy because both sides feel they have something to prove. 2 goals is absolutely realistic in this environment. All right, this one is FC Schalke versus Dynamo Dresden, and the pick is over 1.5 goals at 1.31. Here's the simple truth. When you see 2 teams like this, the game state usually doesn't stay quiet for long. Schalke at home are rarely a slow and safe team. They play with emotion, they push, they leave space, and that creates chances on both ends. And Dresden are not the type to come just to park the bus and hope for a miracle either. They're organized, but they'll still take their moments, especially in transitions. So what am I betting on? I'm not betting on a perfect scoreline. I'm not betting on a specific winner. I'm betting on the match doing what these matchups tend to do, open up. 1 goal forces the response. If Schalke score first, Dresden have to chase. If Dresden score first, Schalke have to turn the pressure up. Either way, the tempo increases, the spaces get bigger, and that second goal becomes the most natural thing in the world. Over 1.5 is the disciplined angle here. It's the let the game breathe pick. 2 goals can come from dominance, from mistakes, from set pieces, from one chaotic 5-minute spell. And that's exactly why we take this line instead of trying to be a hero with higher totals. So lock it in. FC Schalke vs Dynamo Dresden, over 1.5 goals, clean, professional, and built for consistency. So that's the full card. Over 1.5 across the board, built for consistency, built for long-term results, and backed by the same system you see on screen. Quick reminder, the proof is staying on screen from now on, every day, every video. If we win, you'll see it. If we lose, you'll see it. That's how we separate real football tips and predictions from the fake noise. If you want the picks early, we've still got the Discord running, but even if you never join, you'll still get the receipts right here on YouTube. Good luck if you're riding, stay disciplined, and I'll see you in the next one.